video. Welcome to my channel. This is primarily a channel about cross stitch, but today it's also a tutorial on setting up a Notion template. If you want to see the introduction video to everything, I will link that up above for you to go over and check it out for how you can use this to organize your cross stitch. I am going to do a really brief overview really quick of what it looks like, and then I'm going to show you how to set it up for yourself. So, without further ado, let's just jump in. So, the website is free, and it's called Notion.com. You're going to pull that up. Now, for me, I'm already logged in, so it's going to immediately take me to my page. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you my page, how I have it set up, and then my husband is wanting to know first time. So, video, and you can create it yourself. Notion is a web-based program where you can put, if you will look there on the screen, all of these things in. You can create different pages. So I have got cleaning lists, I've got habit trackers, I have got my vitamins, my budget, reading list, my kids' school schedule, my housework calendar, my life calendar. And the best part of the system is that it links seamlessly across the devices. So I can do work on my PC, and then I can go over and pick up my phone, and whatever I did on my PC is there on my phone. So that is the beauty of this. I don't have to carry around a book to keep up with my cross-stitch projects. They're on my computer. They're saved somewhere on the cloud. I can access them with my mobile device or my tablet or whatever it is that I'm using. So let me just jump in. Again, I'm not going to go too far into detail about this here. If you want the full introduction of why this is a good system, go over and watch the other video. But just for the sake of familiarizing yourself with what we're setting up, here is what it is. I have got the name of my cross stitch projects here. I have a thumbnail pic here of each one. So if I cannot remember what does Winter Tranquility look like, I can click on the image and it's going to pull it up. I can even make it bigger. So this is what the Winter Tranquility pattern looks like. I have got the year that I got the pattern, what is the theme of the pattern, and then there's several different things that can go here in status. So I have got that I've started it, or I've kitted it, or if it needs fabric, or it needs floss, or if I only have the chart, or maybe I finished it, or if it's a pre-bought kit where everything has already been done for me. So that is what the status bar is all about. There are some that I have started on here. There's some on down here that I have actually finished. Like right here. So I know that, you know, I don't need to restitch that one at a glance. Moving on, the next field is the fabric type field. So I know that I'm currently working on an Advent weight. It is on a 32 count even weave in light blue. The Artisti is the brand, and the date that I started that was December the 12th of this year. I am the designer of it, so that is what's there. And once I finish it, there will be a date right there as well. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to have to pause because of my dogs. The fabric size needed is I put the stitch count of the project. This is not allowing anything extra. I know that I'm going to have to add all of that in. But I know that if I go to a fabric store and I'm thinking to myself, oh yeah, I was wanting to get fabric for that Halloween sampler that I was going to work on. I can do a quick search looking at all of my Halloween stuff. I can apply a filter. I'm not going to do that right now because I'll have to clear it back out. But right here, the Haunted House sampler, I can scroll across. I don't want to check that. I can scroll across here and I can see they recommended a driftwood color, and this is the stitch count so that I know that I get the right size of fabric. So just to really quick show you, you can apply the filters. I want to go up here and I want to see all of the Christmas pieces that I have. So if the theme contains Christmas, okay, it will only show me my Christmas charts. And look, I have way too many Christmas charts. So it makes it really fun and easy to be able to tell at a glance if you have something. And I can say, did I have the 4th of July stuff? Let me check that and see what I had that was the 4th of July. So I can put in 4th of July, and I know that I have got one pattern that is for the 4th of July. And then all I have to do is turn this filter back off by deleting it. And now we are back to here, and I want to go back in and make sure I delete all of the filters. Okay, they are all deleted. Yeah, okay. So now all my pieces are back. All right, so now you've got a view of it. See, I have got in here, let me see, I think 78. Let me make sure that's right. Yeah, I have 78 projects saved in here. So, yeah. All right, so let me go ahead and switch over to another internet browser so that we can kind of reference that one as we go. We're going to set up my husband's Notion. Okay, so we'll click Notion, and we're going to click Try Notion for free. Oh, it's already got me logged in, so let me log out here in this internet browser. Maybe it's over here. I'll log out. See, I haven't logged out. Log out of all. Okay. So whenever you go to Notion, this is what it's going to look like. There are paid ones and there are free versions. You're going to just click Try Notion Free. And again, it was www.notion.com. And when you click it, it'll automatically take you to this page. So you want to click in the top right-hand corner, Try Notion Free. And this is where you're going to put your sign in. I recommend that you sign up if you have a Google account to do that so that it's so much easier. But if you do not want to, I certainly understand that. So I don't want to show all that. Okay. I've got to figure out how to turn my screen off for just a second for this part. I'll tell you what, let me put in his email and I will be right back and I'll show you exactly what it pulls up to. Okay, so I went ahead and put in an email address. Make sure that we're recording again. Yes, we are. Okay, I went ahead and put in an email address, and this is exactly how it comes up. So if you're doing this with a team where multiple people is going to be working on the document, obviously choose with my team. But if it's for yourself, you can just click that and click Take Me to Notion. So it takes it just a minute to get everything ready. There are some templates that's already loaded over here on the left-hand side for you that you can adjust and use, but we're not going to worry about any of that stuff. We're just going to leave it as is. And instead, what we're going to do is we're going to go right down here to Add a Page. And we're going to click that. And we're going to name this Cross Stitch Projects. And click Enter. Now, when this part comes up, I'm just going to do a / and I'm going to do table. And I want to scroll down. Don't do this where it says add a simple table to the page. That's not what we want. We want to go to table database inline. So when we click that, it automatically generates this little thing for us so that we'll be able to add filters to see all of our data. Now, before we get started with what's in the fields, let's just decorate this up a little bit. We're going to click Add Icon, and then it gives us that generated picture, but I don't like it, so I just want to click it, left click, and I'm going to type in sewing. So there is our spool of thread. I will put that on there. And then let's make it a little bit more decorative. So I want to go to Add Cover and click it, left click. And then I want to go to Change Cover. And once here, you're going to go to Unsplash and click. And I'm just going to type in embroidery. Nothing comes up. So let's do cross stitching. Okay, so these are all the different ones that come up when you type in cross stitching. Really only one that I see, or a couple here that's actually We're just going to choose all of the pretty floss bundle laying there. So already it's looking like a cross stitch project. Okay, so for name, we're just going to leave that as is, and we're going to type in the name of a project that we have. So let's say that we are working on an Advent weight. That is a project for free that I designed that you can go to my website and get. I will put a link to it below. So this is our first project that we're trying to put in our database. The next thing that we're going to want to choose is we're going to want to create another field. Leave the tag field alone for right now. See that plus emblem? We're going to click that and we're going to name it. So we're going to name it thumbnail and press enter. Now if I hover my mouse over it and left click and hold it, I can drag this over. And we want that to be the very first thing that's there. Once I've got it where I want it to go, I'm just going to click it again, left click, and then right here where it says property type, I'm going to change it to files and media. So if I hover over it and slide over, it will choose files and media. I'm going to left click that. And so now if I click that field, it will give me an option to add a file. Okay, and that's how we can add the pictures of our different things. Now, for the tags, this is where I'm going to want to rename this to status. Okay, so this is how I'm going to know where I am in the project. So we've got the status named. I'm going to come down here to the first field and I'm going to left click. And it says select an option or create one. So let's create some options. I'm going to put started. And see here it says create started. You can just click that. Let's make another option. Finished. And I'm just hovering my mouth here and left clicking. So now I have that one. Let's make one that says kitted. Like I've got everything ready to go and I'm ready to start it. And click again, left click, create. Now I'm going to make one that says needs fabric. And left click to create it. Let's do needs floss. Let's do have chart. Need everything else. And let's do have full kit. Everything included. Okay, you can definitely put anything else here that you want to. Maybe you've got some that is in prison that you're not working on. You can put UFO if you're not going to work on it anymore. You know, maybe that's a list that you've got that you know that you can give those to somebody else. Whatever options you want to be available for your kit, you put them here. Now, since I created all of those, it's showing that an Advent weight has a status of every single one of these that we just made, and that's not what we want to do. So I'm going to click that box again, and I'm going to get rid of all of the ones that are not appropriate. I don't have to do this every time. I'll show you in just a minute that these will stay in there, and next time you can just choose the one that's applicable. So let's say for the sake of showing you, I've got one that's named Halloween whatever. Okay, Halloween whatever. I have got that one kitted up. I have all of my fabric. I have all of my floss, and it is ready to go. So now I have that one. All right. So we've got that done. Let me click back over here to my Notion and look. Okay, so the next thing that I had is a priority in 2022. So let's add that field. I want to hover over the plus sign and left click it. And I'm going to name it priority in 2022 or whatever year you're in. Before I click enter, I want to go right down here to the property type and hover over it and then slide over here, and I want to do a checkbox. So I'm going to click that. Now, if an Advent weight is my priority in 2022, I can check that. Okay, so this little slide bar will help you slide on your table. All right, so let me flip back over here to my other one because I can't remember all my fields either. All right, so the year that I acquired the pattern, I have the theme, and we've already got the status. So let's go back and look at that. So we're going to hover over, left click, and let's put it in here too. Year acquired. The reason I put this in there is because if somebody is wanting donations or something, I can go back through and see, okay, what have I had for 8 years that I'm not obviously going to stitch that I can get rid of. And I can apply the filter and go through and pick out the oldest charts versus getting rid of my newer charts. So I'm going to do year acquired. There is a date here, but if you do that, it has to be a very specific date. If I just leave it as a text field, I can type anything in here that I want. So I could just put I acquired it in 2021, or I could put October 2021, whatever that I want to do there. So that's why we're just going to leave it as a text field. Okay. So we're going to slide it on over, and now we're going to put in theme. What is the theme of the pattern? So if I quickly want to go through and look at all of a certain theme, I could locate them. So I'm just going to rename that field theme, and I'm just going to leave it as a text field again. You could definitely do like we did here, and you could change it to where you've got options where it says multi-select, but well, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do multi-select instead. All right, so an Advent weight, I'm going to put in that is a Christmassy one, and it's not been created yet, so I'll have to create it. And then let's also put in Advent because it's also an Advent pattern. Now, if I was to go down here to this Halloween whatever pattern and I click it, see, only ones that I've used so far is Christmas and Advent. So I would have to create one for Halloween. And press enter. Does that make sense? So now Halloween is even an option. Let's say back up here for this Advent weight, I said, you know what? I don't want to put Advent as a Christmas pattern. I just would come back up here, click the field, and X out of Christmas. And then I would be left with Advent and Halloween. But I'm going to leave Christmas on there too. All right, let me switch back over again and look at mine. All right, so we've done all of these: years acquired, theme, status, fabric type, and designer. These fields, you can put whatever you want. I'm just helping you create one like I did. And then you can change it once you get in here playing. You'll see how easy it is to use. So let's go ahead and do fabric type next. So again, hovering over the plus symbol, I'm going to left click, and I'm going to name this fabric type. I'm going to leave it as a text. I'm not going to change it to anything else, and click off of it. So Advent weight. Let's say, all right, I'm looking at my fabric in my kit, and it says I'm doing a 32 count even weave, and it's a light blue, and it's by Artisty. Obviously, you may not know that. Let's say down here for this Halloween whatever pattern that I've just got, I just know that it's a 14 count tan color. Okay. That way it can help me remember. As I get better when I purchase, now that I have this system, I could keep up with stuff like that, but don't stress about it with stuff that you've already got. All right, so now we have fabric type. We're going to, oh yeah, see, I forget, designer date starting, date ended. So we're going to hover over it, left click, and we're going to name this one designer and press enter. And let's go ahead and scroll over, hover over the plus symbol, left click, and let's click date started. And we're just going to leave it as text because I told you if you put a date field in there, it's very specific about a date. And click off of it. And then scroll over, hover over it with the left mouse, left click, and date finished. And press enter. So now we've got some fields to work with. All right, an Advent weight, the designer is myself, so I will put my name there. And then for Halloween whatever, let's say it's Witchy Witch that designed that pattern. All right, this is where if you leave it as a text field, it's helpful because I could put December 2021, or I could put December 14th, 2021, or I could just put 2021. if you put the date field, you're going to have to be very specific with choosing the date on the calendar. Okay. And this one I've not yet started, so I don't want to put nothing in that field. Remember, it's kitted, and I've not actually started that one yet. And then obviously date finished would be as I finished it. And let me go back over here to mine. All right, size of fabric needed. That is the last field that I've got on here right now. So let's left click, and we're going to put that fabric size needed. All right, and press enter. I'm leaving it as text again. So let's say that I've already got my Advent weight started on. I've already got my Halloween whatever kitted up. So obviously I have the fabric for that. So let's put another fake project in here. Let's call this fake project July. And the status for that one is I have got my chart, but I need everything else. So I'm also going to put in here needs fabric and it needs my floss. Okay. So the reason that I went above and beyond, you say, well, why did you put needs fabric, needs floss instead of needs everything else? The reason that I did that is I have got more options. Let's say that I go through here and I've got 75 projects. And I obviously am not going to want to buy fabric and floss for all 75 of them projects. So if I've got it tagged as needing fabric and needs floss, that tells me that I'm ready. It's in my queue that I need to buy that stuff. If I had July, let's add another one. Let's say November turkey. And I just have chart, need everything else. I would know that when I was at the fabric store that because I don't have on here that I need fabric and I need the floss, I'm not wanting to actively start on that piece yet. That is how I think. If you think differently, you do not have to do it my way. You can make whatever tags or status you want it to have. I'm just showing you how to set up the database. So for November turkey over here and July, let's go ahead and put in the July is obviously 4th of July. So let's put in the theme. And then November turkey, let's say Thanksgiving. Okay. And again, these themes can be whatever you want them to be. Maybe you're a flower person. You can put flowers or whatever. Make it work for you. All right, so let's say for this 4th of July pattern, they recommended that I get a 14 count Aida in white. And I'm going to put a question mark beside of it because I don't have the fabric yet. That's what they recommended, and I may consider that. Let's say for the Thanksgiving one, they said that they recommended a 28 count linen in lamb's wool. I'm going to put the question mark there. That was the recommended. Now, whenever I put everything in my database, I would scroll over here for July, and where it says fabric size needed, I'm going to put in, okay, that July pattern is going to be 53 stitches by 53 stitches. And that November turkey pattern was going to be 104 stitches by 205 stitches. The reason this is so helpful is I can go to the fabric store and I can say, if I've got 100 projects in here, I don't want to scroll through everything looking. I can say, you know what? I can remember that I needed to pick up some floss for some stuff, but I can't remember what it was. So let me throw on the filter right quick where the status contains needs fabric. And oh yeah, July needed fabric. And it recommended the 14 count white in Aida, but I think I want to do this on a 28 count even weave. So what size am I going to need for a 53 by 53 inch on that particular count of fabric? Do you see why I don't put in a fabric size based on a count of fabric? You put in a stitch size because that way you can always figure out how big your fabric needs to be. Okay. So I just got to remember that I want to come back over here and I want to clear the, where I just click add filter again. and go in and click delete, remove. So now all of my projects are back again. Okay. You can also just do this by clicking filter up here, and you can do the same thing because see, it gives you all of the options, and it will also show you, like if the status is in a priority 22 and it's checked and I click off of it, I can come back up here to the filter and it shows me what filters that I have got on. So I can just click to remove all the filters. Does that make sense? You can make this be anything you want. I could come over here and add another one. You can also move these everywhere. Hang on. Let's say that I want fabric size needed closer over to the fabric. I hover over it, left click and hold it with my mouse, and then I can drag this over, and let's say I want to put it right here. Now I have got the fabric size needed and the fabric type side by side. You can resize these. Whenever you hover between them, do you see that icon? You can left click, hold the left click down, and then slide it over. Okay. There is so much that you can do with this. Let's say that you want to go ahead and put all of the floss in here that you're going to need. Flosses still needed. You know, and you're thinking, okay, for that 4th of July one, I'm going to need to get a 314 DMC and I need to get a 605 DMC. You can put that in there. And then whenever you go to the store, you could say, again, think in big terms, say you've got 200 projects in here. You could come up and you could hit this search button, or you could hit the filter button, filter, and add a filter. Okay, so if you go down through here and you look, if floss is still needed, contains, or is not empty, like in other words, if it has anything at all in that field, show it to me. So, okay, there's the flosses that I needed. I hope that makes sense and I'm not confusing you. And again, you just want to come back up and you'll want to click filter and then just remove that filter so that all of your projects come back. So I hope that is helpful. Oh, I didn't show you how to add the thumbnail. There is a workaround for this. On Notion, if you will switch over and look at my camera view for just a second, there is an app that can be loaded on your phone. So if you look right here, the Notion app is loaded on my phone. Whatever you do on here, when you log into the Notion app, it's also going to be here. Crud. Okay, so it's going to be right here within your phone the exact same way. Now look back at the PC screen again. If I click right here on this thumbnail and I want to put in a picture of an advent weight and I click choose file, let's say I go to downloads. Let me find a picture from yesterday. Okay, let's say this is the picture of advent weight and I click it. Oh, it's actually going to upload it. Okay, so sometimes it'll upload it, but sometimes it'll pop up and it'll say if the picture's too big, it'll tell you that it cannot add that picture. And all you have to do is use your mobile device to take your pictures and then log in. Look back at the camera if you're not. Log in, and you'll come over here and you can click and do the add the file and add them directly off of your phone. Once it's uploaded on the Notion app, you can clear all those pictures off of the camera feed on your phone because that picture is stored in the cloud wherever Notion is. You do not have to keep the pictures on your phone in order for it to stay in the system, if that makes sense. So, I'm going to flip back over for just a minute and let's do some different trial and errors with mine since I have got so many projects in here so that you can really see the benefit of this. Let me go ahead and make sure all of these are turned off. I'm going to remove, make sure all of the filters are off. And they are. Okay. So I have got 78 projects loaded into here. And I am currently trying to decide what I want to put on my Whip Go board for 2022. One of those pieces is the Summer's Bloom pieces, and you know that that's going to be my priority in 2022 because I have it checked. Summer Blooms, I can't exactly remember what that looked like. Let me pull up a picture. Oh yeah, that was what it looked like. Okay, so let me scroll over and see what it is that I have got to get yet. Let me click that back. Oh, okay, so I don't have anything. I have got the chart, but I don't have anything else. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to click that it needs the floss and that it needs the fabric. I didn't put a recommended color in here for my fabric, but what did it look? What did they do it on? Let me click back at my picture again and look. Okay, they did like a light tan color. So let me go over and look. I did put the stitch count in. So I need to get a tan looking fabric that will be big enough to hold this many stitches and allow extra room on the side for finishing. So I know that now when I go to the fabric store and I've went down through here and I've gone through all of these, all I have to do is I need to go up to here, apply my filter so that it shows me that if the status says needs fabric, these are the ones that I decided that I wanted to buy fabric for. I know I need a black cloth that is big enough to have 251 stitches by 63 stitches. I know that I want to get a grayish type of cloth, whether it's linen, even weave, Aida, whatever I decide at the moment, that's fine. But I want a grayish color to hold this many stitches and have extra. I want a lamb's wool to have this many stitches. Does that make sense? Okay, great. I have got all of my fabric. Now I need to change this to where it says, if the status says that I need floss. Oh, I've got all of the flosses that I need except for this summer project. Now, in my current one, I do not have flosses still needed. I'm going to go ahead and add it. So that if I had in here that I actually needed floss numbers, I could have that with me at all times. Okay. So again, go back to my filter, click it, and remove the filter. So now all of my projects come back. So y'all can see, look, I have got all of this stuff in here. I know what it looks like. I know what I need. I know if I've got it ready. I know if I've stitched it. I know if I've got it ready to stitch. I mean, this is just perfection. I'm sure that some of you guys can come up with some extra fields or some different ways of doing that. But I hope that this is helpful for you. I think this is going to really change how I do my cross stitch. Oh, well, it already has, but I'm loving it. I am loving it. And that is how you use it. So if I switch back over to the other Notion account, the one that we just made, you know, you can just keep going. I mean, just keep adding in projects. Fill in the details. It's going to take you a little bit of time, but just keep going with it. And then eventually you will have a master database of everything that you own. Another thing that you can do with this is, let's say right here with Advent Weight, I want to record additional details. You see this where it says open as a page? I just hover over it and left click. And now it's opened up this whole thing where I can add so many details about the project. I can come down here and I can say worked on project today for 2 hours. I can add a picture of my progress, or I can just record the comment and press enter. Do you see that? It will show me as the dates tick on. It'll show the date and the time that I've recorded all of this stuff. And then whenever I'm finished with it, and I think, you know what, I'd like to have a book of all of the different ones that I've done, I can come in here and I could print this as a page. Open this up full strength here. I can click File and I can go to Print. And look, I can have all of the details of that project. And I can have all of my working time. I mean, the possibilities are endless for using this. I'm going to come back and delete that comment because it's not true. And this is actually in my in my real one. So, oh no, it's not. It's in that fake one. But there you go. So anything that you do in that table will show up here. And all I have to do is I can come back out here and I can just click cross stitch projects again, and it will take me back to the main cross stitch projects page. So I hope that is self-explanatory. You just use these to navigate back and forth. There are these fields down here that says calculate. So if I want to know how many total projects that I have, I don't have to count them. I can just left click on calculate, and then I can click on this count all. So it'll tell me, okay, you have filled in 7 fields here. So there you go. Let's say that I apply, I want to know how many Christmas, let me throw in Christmas right here for a couple of these to show you this. Let's say I went through and I've got all my stuff in, and I'm like, you know what, there is too long of a list here. How many Christmas patterns did I have? I can come up here and I can do a filter and add a filter, add a filter. All right, if the status, was it status I was looking for? No, theme. If the theme contains Christmas, show me the patterns. Oh man, all of those, pretend it's a long list. I can come click calculate, count all, and it will show me how many Christmas do I have? Oh, I have got 4 Christmas patterns. Again, always remember to come up and remove your filters so that it doesn't mess up your database. And like I told you guys before, you can come up at any time and you can hit. Now, this is confusing. If you come to this 3 dots, there is no print. There is an export where you can export it as a PDF, but I want to print it. So I'm just going to go up here on my internet browser and click the print. And let's say I'm wanting to send this to my printer. Find my printer. And here it is. Now, if you'll notice, it's wonky on the page. So I'm just going to scroll down on my more settings. And I want to find the one that says fit to printable area. And it'll show it on here. You can also do it to where it's reduced to a smaller size and all that good stuff. So, there you have it. Well, guys, I hope this was helpful for you. I hope that this saves you so much time. Let me know if you think of another field to put in that's been helpful for you when you start the system. Just click below. There are ways that you can take this database and you can interchange it to make it do all kinds of things. This is just a basic tutorial for setting it up. If you have any issues with anything specific, let me know in the comments and I will try to help you out. But I think that this should get you going. If you play around with it, it's really easy for you to figure it out as you play with it. If you don't want to play within the actual project page that you just created, all you've got to do is go back over here to the left, and you can go down and click new page. Oh, crud, right there. Click new page and do this one, test play. And again, you do that / and we're going to type table and go down to here. And then you can play with this without it affecting anything that you have got going on here. So if I want to come over here and how was it that she moved this stuff? You can come over here and move it and play, and you see what I mean? And see, it didn't do anything over here. So, all right, everybody, that is all that I have got for you today. I hope that it's helpful, and I hope that it changes your world in how you manage all of your cross-stitch stuff. I hope that it saves you money, too, because you won't double and triple buy the same patterns. All right, everybody, thanks for watching, and I will catch you next time.